Welcome back, Schmeat Nation 3 to the Week 8 edition of the podcast. As always, I'm your host, Kieran Kale, along with Adam Rocket. Adam, 8 weeks into the season, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. It's really into the meat and potatoes of the season now. We're really grinding through at this point. Got to keep it going. Made my first trade, as you have brought up here. And before I explain myself, I want to hear your initial reaction on it.
It fucking sucks to go against the AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts stack. But my initial reaction was great for Brad. I mean, he doesn't have the time to wait on these players. I can see why you made the move based off your roster and needing the running back. But I think you might need to wait a little bit on these guys to really pay off. But Brad, I think a solid move for Brad. He can't really complain. He couldn't wait around. Even if these guys start grinding late in the season, it wouldn't have helped him if he doesn't get wins now. So what was the mindset behind it?
So my mindset behind it was I think you and I can both agree that the roster that I had before this trade, it was going to be good enough to make the playoffs, but I did not have confidence in it to win the league versus I think Jonathan Taylor adds that sort of X factor to my team where now like the top half of my team looks extremely solid. I have two really good running backs, two good wide receivers, and the tight end lockdown. It is a pretty big downgrade at the QB position, and I think based off of what has happened so far this season, it's pretty easy to say Brad won this trade. But like you said, I sort of have the wins and the accrued points so far to sort of outlast this slump. And I'm hoping that with the quarterback change in Indy, that sort of forces them to feed Jonathan Taylor more. So that's sort of where I was coming from in this trade. I view Jonathan Taylor at a higher level than what he has been so far this season. So that was kind of my rationale behind it.
Yeah, it makes sense. There's some risk involved, but I think at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day, you can stream quarterbacks, you can stream receivers, you can't really stream running backs. And as we get later into the season, that should help you out in theory. We'll see how it all plays out. But
Exactly. This is either going to be a league winning or league losing trade for me is kind of how I see it. Like I don't think I had a chance to win before it, but now that it's there, I think it has the potential payoff for this could take me to that championship, which is what we're playing for.
there we go. You love the mindset behind it. Jumping into the standings. I zoomed out, but I guess I don't need to. Five-way tie. I don't know if I've ever seen this. I mean, I've seen three for sure, but 7 weeks into the season, five people at 5-2 is pretty insane, especially just looking at the playoff chance drop off down to Reese, who's at 6 with a 48% chance to win. He's only one game back. Like, just insane.
Yeah.
IBM Watson is crunching the numbers, but
I mean,
pretty nutty.
you look at the top 7 teams, and the first thing you notice is that all 7 of those managers were in Vegas for the draft. So, I don't want to say that it helps, but if you want to if you want to be good in the regular season in this league, you got to make that trip.
I didn't even notice that. That's legendary. Well, good for us.
Oh,
Good
wait, I
for us
guess
all
Jasper
around.
wasn't in Vegas. He's been to Vegas once.
If you've stepped foot in the Graverick household or Roy household down in Vegas, then you get the buff. And jumping into the points for not a ton of movers. I mean, again, Eddie's still there. You made up a good point that a lot of that's from the 200-point week. But yeah, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and what
Yeah.
that works out for you.
What else do you want to say about
Dump it in. I
it?
mean, there's all of us. 1, 2. Parker, I guess, with the props, he's gone up against the hardest, but we also have had an easier schedule in theory. I think a lot of us play each other later on. I think I'm not quite sure. I can't
I
remember.
know I still have to play Connor. I haven't faced him yet, but I think out of the top 4 teams, he's the only one that I haven't played yet.
There we go. And then Jamie's getting unlucky. Couldn't pull it through. As always, we'll jump into last week's matchups and then show our power rankings. Long awaited week 8 power rankings. Pretty wild changes there. And then look ahead to next week, including an absolute MMA style matchup of the week. So Jumping into last week, uh, not too much of a surprise here on this one. I think we both took me, and I think I said it wasn't going to be close, and yeah, I once again putting up 146. Obviously,
Hmm.
it took a toll getting past my early season ride or die of Seth. I lost DK Metcalf, I lost Alan Lazard, and I lost Mike Williams. But oh
Yeah.
well, what are you
The
gonna?
injury gods seemed to run rampant on the league last week. They just claimed so many names. So yeah, it's if you came out of last week without any injuries, then good on you. But yeah, your team's still looking dominant. Hopefully you can. I think the only person that is for sure missing multiple weeks is Mike Williams, and he has that high ankle sprain now. So that's a little bit tough to look forward to. But I mean, just three dominant running backs on your part. Ken Walker just seems like there's no one that's going to be able to stop him.
Yeah, he looks great, and he looks to continue that one. Seth, I mean, we can hammer it into the ground each week, but again, like your ceiling's capped. I know I'm sure he wanted to kind of play some of these other guys, and he's got Gus Edwards into there, so we'll see if Gus can
Yeah.
keep it rolling, but nothing too much. I mean, pretty average week.
The one
Nothing else on
interesting
the side.
part about Seth's team to me is that Kareem Hunt, I hear trade rumors swirling around his name, so he might be on the move soon here. So that could be a potential
Oh man,
bonus.
the late season run if he could get in a good position.
Yeah.
And then jumping into, I think it was our closest matchup of the week. Absolutely insane because Damian Harris ended up doing absolutely nothing. But Max had this secured going into Monday night. Pretty brutal on Jamie's side that Swift missed again. I mean, if Swift is in, she doesn't play point 4 point McKissick. But what are you gonna do? That's how it falls down. Mediocre performances all around, and now
Yeah.
Max
Just
loses Brees Hall and Travis Kelsey. So Travis Kelsey.
crazy week from Joe Burrow here, getting 45 points and Jamie still losing. I mean, you'd hate to see the utilization of Rondale Moore. You would hope with Hollywood Brown going down, he would have been more involved, but it was just all D Hop. And I guess with D Hop on the team, it's really all you need. But it's really just like the wide receivers on her team had big names going in, and it just did not pan out for any of them. Like Deontay Johnson's got Kenny Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky throwing him, and Cortland Sutton's got, the husk of Russell Wilson. It is really that injury. She gets Gabe Davis back next week, so that's a lot of pop off potential there.
Yeah, she does have a lot of those guys. I mean, I wanted Cortland Sutton, but I think Gabe Davis and Deontay Johnson were guys that I was just like, I can't take them. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, it looks like Gabe Davis is better than what I give credit for. So
Yeah, Max getting a pretty cheeky win with Justin Jefferson on bye, so this is actually pretty huge for him. Sets him up better than what he was at.
yeah, he avoids that. And then you assume, at least until James Robinson establishes some kind of role, that it'll be Michael Carter's backfield. So I heard they're going to go
Mm-hmm.
slow with Robinson. So we'll
Yeah,
jump in as well into next matchup here. Jasper taking down Eddie. A bit of an upset. I think I had Eddie to win this one, but Josh Jacobs is just going to continue to do his thing.
I
And
don't exactly see how you see this as an upset, but
then
fair enough. The
that's true. I
favorite
guess
team won, so
yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. I did have Jasper higher in the power rankings, which I claimed to be how I think the team's going to do on the week, but then chose Eddie. So, a little bit. Sometimes you get confident, but Eddie now missing Patrick Mahomes for next week. I mean, that's like you see all these guys and then they just do like bog standard point totals. Like this is bizarre for all of them to score kind of low. So
yeah.
Patrick Mahomes tried to round it out, and then
I
part of
really
me panicked
cannot
if it
believe that he went with Jags D after getting -4 the week before. If you get minus points on the defense, at least the way I think about it, it doesn't matter who you play next week. That's an automatic
huh?
drop. I would never play a team coming off a -4 point week. So that's
It
just
was aggressive, but
wild.
honestly, the pivot probably would have been the Niners, and they got -4. So
Yeah, I guess fair enough.
we'll see there. And an absolute goose egg from James Robinson still puts up 130, and absolutely nothing from the bottom too. So
Mm-hmm.
Jasper's team is solid.
Yeah, were you asking about the panic in Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, but then I saw
Ah,
total doesn't matter.
yeah, it's tough to say. I think Lamar Jackson might be a bit hurt out there, so hopefully he can heal up. But yeah, he's Lamar Jackson. You have to think that that Baltimore team will figure it out when it comes to winning in the fourth quarter. So I can't see him being as bad as he is.
Wow,
I don't
yeah,
know.
it's been a while since that 47-point game. Jesus, he
Yeah,
came out just electric, and he's still fourth because of that start. So
yeah,
goodness. And coming in here, Adam, you're receiving your second loss to the hecking Gex. That was a tough
yeah,
week for you though, without the QB, but you're gonna be without him moving forward.
yeah. I had brutal bye week, and it was just an unfortunate, crossing that I also Christian McCaffrey was traded in this week, so that was basically just another buy for him. Even though we put up 8 points, he just was only out there for like 20 snaps or something. So he'll get more involved there. I'm not super worried in terms of that. And then, yeah, I mean, just an off week. Amon Ra getting hurt immediately, basically just another buy for him. Just so I'm not super concerned about my team. I do think that I'm more concerned than I was a couple weeks ago, but I think moving forward, I'm not super worried.
Yeah, and then credit to where credit's due for Reese. I mean, this is the Diggs bye week, so he'll have his guy back in there. And the team's starting to look a little better. I mean, obviously Jeff Wilson's worth nothing at this point, but you just slot Diggs in there and the lineup looks half all right. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see
Reese
moving
and I
forward.
also did have a bet on which running back would score more points, Christian McCaffrey or Jeff Wilson. So I got $5 from him for that.
Oh man, yeah, I do remember he's talking about that on the day. So unlucky on that side of things. Sometimes you'd rather take an L and $5. Big money.
Yeah.
Moving to the next game here, and I mean, it's from a mile away. You knew this was coming. You get Brad at 1-5, just like collecting all five stones of the losing streak, and then just powers up. Not a tremendous week, not super impressive, but that's kind of all you needed to take down
Yeah.
Kalen when he gets one from Goff. So
The
Aaron
train
Jones finally
is
looks great.
starting to roll here for Brad. It's a bit scary if you have to go up here. Luckily, I've already played him. But yeah, it is kind of scary going up against him now. And with that trade too, I think his team looks a lot better.
Yeah, it definitely rounded it out for him. So
I think his running
uh,
backs do look weak, but if Aaron Jones can keep performing like this, then I think he'll be fine.
yeah, Brian Robinson's been fine. So getting a
He's
guy who
been
can
involved, but
absolutely
he hasn't
go up.
really
So
done all that much.
well, another 10-pointer. So at
Yeah.
some point, if your running backs aren't going to go off, then you're in the tier where you just need him to do all right. And so that's what he's going to get. And he has a guy who can really open the ceiling now. So we'll
Mm-hmm.
see there. It's just shocking to look at Kalen's team and think that he's 2-5. It feels like it should be better, but he has not really been able to string anything together. And in 6-point QB, I mean, I'm really curious to see what the draft looks like next year because I think everyone's seen the value of QBs now. If you don't have one, it feels extra bad. So,
Yeah.
and our matchup of the week, one that we thought for a while was going to be a big upset with Parker dealing with his bye weeks. But then Connor pulled it through and we got the result that we both expected. Connor moving up to 5-2, forcing that 5-way tie on the Josh Allen bye week, so a great time for him. And a couple duds on the team, but just some studs all around. And it's like suddenly Leonard Fournette does nothing, 25 from Juju. So it's like we've talked about his team being set up that way, and here he is just playing it through.
Yeah. I mean, the team is just well rounded. You can't really ask for much more on his part. I mean, you get Josh Allen back. It puts up 150, almost 150 without Josh Allen, so you just get that advantage back. Mark Andrews isn't going to put up less than a point very often. So
You don't want to
both
be
of these
playing Connor
teams,
at the
I think,
moment.
yeah, I think we might see this matchup again later in the year with more on the line.
This just shows how important it's going to be to get those two buys because there's a lot of good teams out there that are looking like they're going to make playoffs, and they're teams that you don't want to play them on any given week. So
Exactly.
moving in to the power rankings, this one from my end was a little tough to rank at this point. There's a lot of movement in the league, a lot of trades last week, and it was tough to really feel confident, but the consensus always leverages it out. So
Yeah, a lot of differences here. Uh, I don't really know much to say. I mean, the top five is all top five teams for us. There's minor differences there, but I think it's very clear what the top five teams in the league are. But then you get down into the lower half of it, and it's just tough going. I just don't understand. Yeah, I'm either valuing teams too low in that bottom area or valuing them too high. I don't know. It's tough to say. We got a lot of big discrepancies here, a lot of movement.
it's tough to pick. A lot of changes going on. I'm certainly a little worried for my own team and the health and the injury, but at least it's all receivers, so it's kind of easy to patch and hodgepodge your way through there.
Yeah, and like I said, the only one that you're missing for multiple weeks is Mike Williams. Like both Alan Lazard and DK Metcalf could be playing this week. And if they don't play this week, then you'll have them back next week. I
Yeah,
would hope.
that'll be nice. I think their buys must be coming up at some point. Some large movers. I don't know. Do you want to go in on a team? Should we just look at them when we do matchups?
I think we can just yeah look at them when we do matchups. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
a final
Over there
check
on
in.
the right, yeah, you pull ahead of me in the matchup predictions.
A few 4 in 2 weeks. I think a 5 in 1 week to get me tied and knotted back up. Both of these were pretty close too, so can't be too upset. Feels like I have a good grasp of the league at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll go in to next week. I can't believe we're at week 8 already, and a
I
team
know.
that I do not want to be playing at the moment. I'm pretty scared for this one, especially because if his new shiny toy stack goes off, that probably means my guy's not doing a lot, and I need Devontae Smith to do a lot, as DK Metcalf and Alan Lazard may or may not be on the field. So we'll see. I didn't even introduce it, but it's me versus Bradley Lamb. Bradley now picking up his second victory on the season. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, Brad's team obviously looks like it has more upside now with the Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown stack. I am gonna miss that stack a lot. I did love those players, but I needed to make a trade. But Paris Campbell also looking like he could be something special if he keeps getting fed. But again, with the change at wide receiver, you just don't, or the change at QB, you can't really predict what's going to happen. It'll be interesting to see if he stays with Packers D against the Bills. That seems like it might be a questionable decision there.
Yeah, it doesn't
But
look like he's got anyone else. Oh, I didn't even realize Brad's kind of loaded up at the moment. If he can keep stringing wins together and OBJ
his
finds a
team
nice
could
spot.
be interesting, yeah. Especially if Isaiah Pacheco did take over that Kansas City backfield. There's been a lot of people saying that Pacheco's the running back one now, although I think it was pretty evenly split last week. So, yeah, on your side, it really depends on DK Metcalf and Alan Lazard. I mean, you've got those two monsters at running back, and then Ken Walker as well. So your team just has a extremely solid floor. I think there's a bit of questions at your wide receiver position. We'll just have to see what happens on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm a little worried. I think I can find pieces to fill in that'll make something, patchwork something in there. It never feels great to start Andy Dalton. My team could be totally different come Sunday. We'll
Mm-hmm.
see. But I think with the way I've been cruising, I think it's 3 straight wins at the moment. I mean, I think why won't that continue? The running backs are feeling great. I'm gonna take myself over Brad, but I'd also wouldn't shock me at all if I lose this matchup. I think some of these projections are pretty low for what these guys can do, especially with another week of Andy Dalton. Taysom Hill can easily snipe a few touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, and I think I am going to go with the late season Brad pick. He's getting the train rolling. I think he's just going to keep on rolling along. I'm going to take Brad here.
Yeah, following the trade, it makes it a lot easier to think Brad can go on a little bit of a run here. Even if he drops this game, I mean, that's still okay for him, and who knows, he can easily win. This is a pretty rough week for me, especially without my boy J Herb. Moving in, we got another 5-2 taking on the 3-4 team. We got Jasper versus Seth. I feel like this game's gonna be closer than we think. I actually like Seth's pieces at the moment, but I do think some of these guys on Jasper's team have just been unstoppable. And how does Josh Jacobs not continue to do what he's doing there? Finally looking like a good offense when he's getting 20 carries. So
Yeah, I think the running backs for Jasper look good. I do think Lamar will get right at some point. Alvin Kamara's got to find the end zone at one point this season. I don't think he scored a touchdown yet. Unfortunately for me, they will probably all come against me in the playoffs. He's going to get 6 like he did that Christmas Day when I played Jasper in the playoffs a couple of years ago. But yeah, it's tough to say here. I like looking at the flex for Seth is just you never really want to be starting Donovan Peoples Jones. Like he did pick up Greg Dulcich. That's a bit of a one of those sexy rookie tight ends coming into the league. So maybe he could
how's
get
his
it
season
right.
doing? Wow,
Yeah,
Jesus,
for a rookie tight end, those are pretty
Jesus Christ.
astronomical
For a
numbers.
tight end in general, that's huge.
Yeah,
I wish I could have that. That's massive.
and
Yeah, it's
then
not like
to
Jasper has locks down there either, you know.
they're not locks, but I think Brandon
He's been
Ayuk
good.
is heating up.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
he's
he
looking
is
good.
more involved, and in a divisional matchup, I think Debo will get the Jalen Ramsey treatment. Don't know how that's been going this year, but having that second wide receiver against the Rams could be fruitful again. I think I'm going to take Jasper again. I think I've been riding Jasper for a few weeks in a row here, and it's been working out.
Yeah, it's tough. I really want to ride my early season darling of Seth's team, but I think I'll go Jasper as well. Thursday will be pretty big for both these guys. Seth's got two going, and Jasper has Lamar, who he's still being projected so much. He hasn't got 24 and a half in years, so we'll see. It's been 4 weeks since he's been over 20, and they're giving him a lot, so that projection slides down if he doesn't crack that. So
Yeah, exactly.
we'll see. Moving into a good matchup here, a bowl game that I can't remember
Yeah.
the name of.
Me and Max were in the lightweight 8 senior year of high school, so the lightweight 8 bowl.
The
Almost 10 years ago
lightweight.
now.
A hypey bowl, unfortunately, Max took quite a beating, and when he opens the fantasy app, it'll be a little bit of a frowny face, but he certainly has the pieces to recover, at least for the time being. So, it's always a little tough, but you assume you get Jefferson in there for Njoku, and
Njoku.
then he doesn't have a tight end. It's really hard to extrapolate. I don't think we need to uh, hammer too much on it because I think you've got this one pretty cleanly in.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate for Max. Luckily, he does have the Brees Hall handcuff in Michael Carter for the time being. But if James Conner is back, then Eno Benjamin goes back to irrelevancy, especially because they have that other guy in the Arizona backfield that had a good game. It just seems like there isn't really all that much hope for Max moving forward. Like he has his core of Travis Kelce and Justin Jefferson intact, but Damian Harris seems to be losing that backfield. And yeah, Brees Hall getting hurt is just a massive bummer for him. So I don't think there's too much hope left for Max this season. Maybe he can turn something around. He is the running back whisperer, the waiver wire running back whisperer. So we'll see if he can get lucky at the end of this year. But I think it'll be tough. I'm going to take myself.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think there's tight end options out there. It'll be interesting to see, but when you lose the 21-point average of Travis Kelce and Brady's been struggling and plays on a Thursday, so we'll see. That's technically his only advantage, and I think we could be seeing Dak beat him in points this week, so I'll go you as well. Moving on, we got Jamie's Jocks at 2-5 going up against the 5-2 marginal man. It's like shockingly, this one's projected to be close. Oh, the Austin Eckler bye
Yeah,
week. I
Austin
didn't even
Eckler.
think about it.
Yeah.
Wow, so there's some opportunity here. Jamie gets her stud running back duo back in, and they're gonna need to carry a lot of the load because Connor's team's been looking fairly dominant. But if there's a QB at the moment who can out-duel Josh Allen, it's gonna be Joe Burrow on Monday night. We could have a Monday night miracle coming if Jamie's only 30 or even 40 points behind. It looks like Cincinnati's been unleashing Joey B. So
Yeah, they have completely abandoned the run game so far. Just converted Joe Mixon to full time wide receiver. There's also the interesting matchup of Deontay Johnson versus Chase Claypool happening here. It's always kind of fun when there's wide receivers from the same team going up against each other. But yeah, Austin Eckler on bye, but Ramondre Stevenson still seems to be playing great. Jacoby Myers is a bit of a question mark to me, just because, if you got two QBs, you got no QBs in the NFL. So I really just depends on how that whole passing attack for New England works out now.
yeah, he snuck into the end zone, and you gotta assume Sauce Gardner will be on Devontae Parker. So I think Myers could have a cheeky little game. But man, it's interesting because I feel like
That's
this
tough
is
to
a very
say.
winnable game from Jamie, and she struggled last week. If a lot goes to Gabe Davis, that takes some of the top off Josh Allen. I think I might go Jamie here, and I'll lock that in. Yeah, I'll take an
My
upset just because it'll feel
goodness.
double great because he's at 5-2. So I would love for him to get out of the running by one game.
Yeah, I think if Connor is going to lose a week, this could be the week. And I did want to take Jamie, but I'll take Connor. Create some parity
Yeah,
here.
you gotta have it. You gotta have it. Joe Burrow,
Connor feels like a safe
so
pick.
good.
You can never be mad about taking that.
Yeah, he'll put up 140 as he always does. Hopefully we see some DeAndre Swift. You assume they held him out last week just to make sure he was extra healthy, so we'll see if he
Yeah.
can play the whole game. Even if he doesn't, sometimes that's all you need. Moving into another person who's relying on a lot for Joe Burrow, we got Kalen against Reese, your team questionable versus the Heckin Gex. Kalen needing to pick up a few wins. He's gotten battered in the power rankings, and the projection kind of shares that sentiment. It's tough relying on a guy with Jared Goff, but you could say the same about Aaron Rodgers here. Oof.
Yeah. I can't believe that Reese has stuck with Aaron Rodgers this long. It seems like there definitely would be better streaming options out there, but hey man, I guess Reese just loves Aaron
Yeah,
Rodgers, man. Loves that personality, that play style.
he's
Um, as for Kalen, Jared Goff, I think Jared Goff kind of goes as Amon-Ra St. Brown goes. Like the two games that Amon-Ra St. Brown hasn't played, Jared Goff has done terrible, and the games that St. Brown is in, Jared Goff does amazing. So I'm mostly hoping that Amon-Ra St. Brown is out there for my team, but I think if he is out there, Jared Goff does better than what he did last week.
yeah. We
Um,
didn't touch on that one. Is he meant to play?
I think he's in concussion protocol at the moment. It didn't really look like too bad of a hit, so I'm hopeful, but you never know with concussions this year. I
Oof,
do
yeah,
see a lot of pop off potential in Kalen's team here, especially the prime time Cincinnati Bengals. They seem to always just be uncorking it. Um,
yeah.
and
And you
as for
gotta assume Higgins will be start demanding some touches too. Like you can't see Tyler Boyd out there and not think you're better than him. So you
yeah,
could see a big game for him, and Jamar Chase will get his. But if Reese has a pretty solid guy to fight against
uh,
Jamar Chase.
Stephon Diggs remaining the number one wide receiver through the bye week is pretty impressive. There's no reason to think that he'll slow down anytime soon. Uh,
Oh
yeah,
man, who are you
are there any
going?
significant buys this week? I don't really think so.
He'll get Darren Waller in there. I think he's supposed to play.
Yeah, I think that I am gonna go with Reese here. I've rode Kalen a lot this year, and it has not resulted in a
And
lot,
it's
so
been
it's time to
letting you
switch up.
down. Okay,
Yeah,
I was getting ready to talk myself in. It's tough with Kalen similar to Max because you check one day and this is his team, you check the next and it's all different and you either like it or you hate it. And the last time I went with him, I hated it. But this is the time where I
this
love it.
is the
Here we
time.
go. I'll take Kalen here. Mainly because I do enjoy the double Cincinnati at the moment. I think that's pretty hot. And We'll see if Zeke gets in. If he doesn't, Reese is making a tough decision at running back. So
Indeed.
we'll move on in there. And the grudge match, an absolutely blitz-worthy matchup of the week for week 8 here.
What are you doing, you moron? Ugh, I hate you.
This is fight night. This is pay-per-view stuff, man.
The
There's been
1
some
and
chatter in
6
the chat already.
1-6 Trader Eggs versus 5-2 week 1 Fluke. Eddie versus Parker. These guys hate each other. They're taking shots on and off the field. And it should be a good matchup. They just made a trade that puts Eddie with a Daniel Jones streamer instead of his number 1 QB, Pat Mahomes. But on the other side, Geno Smith in the same game. So they'll be duking it out in fantasy, duking it out in real life. Oh man, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, this is truly a test for Geno Smith because I do think that the New York Giants have a decently solid defense. So we'll see if he can, light up a defense that is actually really good. I guess I don't really know who the Seahawks have been playing. I can't really think at the moment, but yeah. What's his name? Parker gets Cooper Kupp back, has DeAndre Hopkins. Those guys could both see 12 to 15 catches. Like, it's tough to look at those wide receivers and not think of just absolute PPR machine. So, and now with James Robinson gone from Jacksonville, I think he gets an upgrade at running back. His team just looks so well rounded. He has Keenan Allen on bye, so after the bye week, he just gets even stronger.
Yeah, and that's a well-deserved rest for Keenan Allen. He just has 3 guys who are so sure to get 20 points based on the way the offense uses them. Like short, easy, given catches. They can also go deep. And with Mike Williams out, Keenan Allen's going to look so good into the lineup. So it's tough. Parker's got a lot going for him. Eddie been a little quiet this week, not a trade at the moment, and who knows, that might be what the team needs. Just trust in the dogs. I
Just
think
some stability.
Deebo Samuel might miss this week, because I think they have the bye next week. But I do love the Niners at Rams. Last time they played, I think they got like 20 some odd points. Yeah, they got 22 points last time they played, so they're going to sack, they're going to get pressure, they'll get a turnover. So Eddie with a defense that doesn't go negative, can we even imagine?
That would be
Week.
disgusting, man.
It would be insane. And he's got the number 1 kicker in a battle on Thursday night. Like Thursday night kickers just seem to hit different. Like
Until they
especially when they're
don't.
goated. Yeah,
It sucks
especially
when
when they
your
don't
kicker
kick.
plays Thursday night and he gets like -1.
The
It would be brutal,
largest
but
the largest talking point here is Amari Cooper in the revenge game against Parker, someone who didn't believe and traded him away, sitting on the bench. So it'll be interesting to see if he can find a way to crack the lineup.
yeah, Michael Pittman being in there at the moment with the QB change, question marks there. Who knows what could happen? I think this is just closer than it should be, but I don't see Parker falling to Eddie. I'm gonna
Really?
take
Oh man,
Parker.
I don't know. Like he's talking about how he hates fantasy football. Like he's given up all hope. This is when your boys come in and ride for you. The Damian Pierce matchup is great. Tennessee's kind of soft. Raheem Mostert is great. Waddle's just so good. Oh man, you hate to pick against him. Plus, I'd be picking 2 guys who have not had success on the season, upsetting some 5-2ers. But I think I'll go for it. I'll put my picks to the
The
test.
Trader Eds. Are you taking Eddie?
Yeah, I'll take Eddie. Give me the Edster. He's
Wow,
done.
like
I
picking
think
a
he gets
lot
back
of
on
upsets
track.
this week for you.
This could be my 1-5 week, but maybe I'll bring it
We
back for my
shall
own boys.
see.
You gotta love it. This should be a good matchup. We've had some good matchups, and the league's been active this year. The league is better when everyone's out there trading and talking, and it's been fun.
Yeah,
So
it's been a good year so far. We're like halfway through at this point, halfway through the fantasy regular season. I think we play 14 weeks, right? And
Yes,
15,
sir.
16, 17
Yeah,
is the
we're on the
playoffs.
back seven.
Yeah, on the back 9, baby. Let's go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh man, it goes by way too fast, and watching football without fantasy is just depressing. So
Yeah, for real.
you love
Well,
to see it. I appreciate everyone watching the videos. We've had some decently good views, and I don't know if that's just my mom watching it over and over again or if it's real human beings, but most weeks I think I've been over 12, so it's kind of weird, but it is how it is.
yeah, let's go. I appreciate it. It's fun to do. It's been good to talk fantasy every week. I
If
love
there's
it.
one thing I need, it's someone to hold me accountable. So I appreciate you being here, co-hosting.
Yeah.
We'll get sentimental as we get to the final 8, but good luck, Schmeat Nation. Any parting
Mhm.
words, Adam?
Yeah, good luck to everyone out there, and good night.
Goodbye, everyone.